Good morning again. 6:33 on 9/18/24, September the 18th, 2024. As I set this timer, or try to set this timer, I had just made a previous video for a little over 11 minutes, and I left off reading Genesis 48 through verse 7, and I talked about the cross. I talked about the ultimate sacrifice. I may not put it in them words. It's hard for me to, again, remember. I'm not a teacher. I'm not someone that you can relate to in many ways. A very different human being. Verse 8 of Genesis 48. Speaking of the cross, speaking of the ultimate sacrifice, I did reference Genesis 15 where Abraham does what the Lord told him to do. Verse 8, when Israel Joseph's sons. If you are just coming into this, you'll have to go back and see where I left off, because Israel is about to die. Joseph was told, Joseph goes to see him. When Israel saw Joseph's sons, he said, "Who are these?" Joseph said to his father, "They are my sons, whom God has given me here." So he said, "Bring them to me, please, that I may bless them." That should probably be all capitalized. Now the eyes of Israel, Jacob, were so dim from age that he could not see. Then Joseph brought them close to him, and he kissed them and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, "I never expected to see your face, and behold, God has let me see your children as well." Then Joseph took them from his knees. His being the question mark, whose knees were they on? And bowed with his face to the ground. Now you got to realize Israel is in the bed. Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand. This is Joseph speaking. He's presenting the children. If you miss this right here, you're going to miss a lot in the Bible. Joseph took them both, Ephraim with his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh with his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them close to him. But Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on the head of Ephraim, who was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, crossing his hands. Although Manasseh was the firstborn, he blessed Joseph and said, "The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day." How many of us can say that? The angel who has redeemed me from all evil, Oh, wow. Bless the lads, and may my name live on in them, and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. When Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand on Ephraim's head, it displeased him, and he grasped his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to his father, "Not so, my father, for this one is the firstborn. Place your right hand on his head." But his father refused and said, "I know, my son, I know. He also will become a people, and he also will be great. However, his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations." He blessed them that day, saying, "By you, Israel, will pronounce blessings, saying, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "Behold, I am about to die, but God will be with you and bring you back to the land of your fathers. I give you one portion more than your brothers, which I took from the hand of the Amorite with my sword and my bow." We should not just read the Bible. We should search out the clues, the mysteries of the significant acts that should pop up off the page at you throughout the Bible of Scripture. Genesis 15, there was something special done there. There's something very special done right here. When Joshua would replace Moses, they went around Jericho. I believe it says the whole multitude of people. Now, if you had a stage city, if you had a walled city, and you saw 2 million people walking around your city, it would probably frighten you. What else can I point out? The last couple of videos I posted and talked about in 1 Kings 11:30-ish with Ahijah, I believe it is, the prophet tears his mantle, and Jeroboam takes 10 pieces of the garment, which represents the 10 tribes. There was the dividing right there and there, then and there, between Jeroboam and Rehoboam, the two nations. God is going to have his word fulfilled, and he will use simple little acts of obedience with men and women that hear his voice and proclaim his word and present it. I just had a pop-up on that phone where Jane Hammond talked about prophesying that the dry bones would come back to life. I haven't had a chance to watch it. It was just on my feed 17 minutes ago. Two years ago, in a video on this channel, December the 1st, 2022, I stood in front of a marquee, Winsboro, Texas, and prophesied what the Lord had given me, because the Lord had spoke to me, Ezekiel 37, verses 5, 6, and 7. God is speaking to many, but so is the enemy. Look out for deception. And yes, this is a New American Standard Version Bible. It's not a traditional King James. For those of y'all that don't know how to read anything but King James. The ultimate sacrifice. The simple things of striking a rock with his staff. How many unique things in the Bible can you see that were done? Even to the point where Jesus dips the bread and breaks the bread and talks about, this is my body broken for you. Take and eat. This is the cup, my body poured out, is the ultimate sacrifice. Jesus speaking, take this in remembrance of me. How can we show our love to one another? I'm thinking of James 1:27 that says, pure religion is to look after widows and orphans. James is all of these pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father is to visit orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained by the world. God bless you. Made Like New Ministries, September the 18th, 2024. God bless you.